OPEC. Joining us from the CBOE trading floor is Scott Bauer. He's the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. So Scott, let me just get your take on the shakeup that happened over the weekend over in Saudi Arabia. The new energy minister, does this change anything in terms of the dynamic for OPEC?
No, not really. I mean, what it does do is it brings everything in-house, right? Everyone is now part of the royal family. The energy minister is now part of the royal family. So good, bad, or indifferent, all decisions, being made going forward here are going to rest on the royal family. So he is very well respected. He has been around and in this role really for about the last 30 years or so. Shouldn't really change much of the dynamic moving forward.
So having said that, we did hear him say that they are committed to the current cuts that are in place. What's the likelihood, given where oil has traded, that we could see additional cuts coming?
I don't know that we're going to see additional, but like you said, he is very committed. And the one thing he probably will bring to the table is I do believe he's going to have a much harder stance with Russia, OPEC Plus, in terms of sticking with the cutbacks that they've agreed to. Russia has kind of, slid off a little bit, and I believe that he will have a harder stance with them.
Meantime, we've seen JP Morgan reportedly close to clinching the lead advisory role for Saudi Aramco's expected IPO. We're now hearing about a phased out IPO or phased in, you could argue, IPO for Aramco. We keep talking about this IPO, given just the size of it, but also the importance for the kingdom as it tries to pivot away from just this sole reliance on oil. How do you see this panning out right now?
Well, first off, this was Morgan Stanley's really to lose, and they did, because Saudi was very unhappy at the way Morgan Stanley handled the Uber IPO. And the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund actually owns 5% of Uber. And so very, very unhappy with that, which really kind of played into how JP Morgan came about in them probably getting this IPO. This is huge. $100 billion. And what has to happen here, or not what has to happen, but what Saudi would like to happen here is for the price of crude to go up about $20 or so, because not only is that, good for the P&L of the entire Saudi kingdom and where they want to see it, but obviously that would help the IPO just a tremendous amount. Now, this could happen as soon as November. It's still very questionable whether it'll happen in 2019, but this is humongous.
So how much demand do you think this is likely to attract, given questions about the structure, questions about transparency for the company? Now we're looking at a strictly domestic listing, at least to start things. What do you think the demand's going to be like?
I think it's going to be over the top. I really do. And by the time it, maybe filters down to a U.S. exchange, I think it's going to be priced much higher than the initial IPO. I think it's going to be well over the top here.
Okay. Scott Bauer, always good to talk to you.
Thanks.